So yes, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me once again. Today we are going to be tackling the engine issues on this 182. Now, the engine itself isn't actually in bad condition, however the belts and the dephaser are well overdue. So I don't think they've been done since 2013. I've got a folder full of history for this car. It's really well maintained. However, it doesn't look as though the belts or dephaser have been done in a long while, and it's whining. Also, the power steering pump is completely shot. It's really notchy. Sometimes it doesn't even work at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the engine out. That way I can give everything a good clean, bit of paint up before we put it back into the car. So let's get cracking. Okay, so I managed to get all the top end all stripped off. All the wiring loom is now over here, and so is the hard power steering line, which they do tend to snap, so I've got to be really careful when I take this engine up that I don't snap that pipe, because they're not great to get hold of, and yeah, they're brittle. So that's that. Now all I need to do is get underneath. There is a earth strap on this side here, and then I need to get rid of the drive shafts on both sides. Then the gearbox selector and the bottom sort of dog bone engine mount, and that's it. This will be coming out. Now, normally on my 182 race car that I had, for example, I didn't have the air conditioning pump or anything there, and it was an aircon delete kit which made the alternator and everything sit really close to the engine. This has got some great big bar that sets the alternator miles away from the engine, literally just into that front grille there. So I'm hoping that I can take it out with that still all on, because the tensioner for the auxiliary belt like this is a nightmare, and I really don't have to start playing around with that if I don't have to. So I'm going to get underneath, I'm going to take all these bits off, and hopefully we can try and get it out. Okay, so the engine is now finally out. That took me far longer than I care to admit. However, I have since given it a good clean and a good paint up, so already it looks $1,000,000. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off all these side covers here. I need to take the auxiliary belt off. Then we're going to get the timing belt and dephaser change underway. Okay, so I've got the pin here, which means it should now be set to top dead center, which means that if this engine was timed perfect, this tool should slot in and out of these little slots here. There's literally no point trying to attempt this unless you've got the genuine Renault timing toolkit like I've got here. It was about £130, I think, from RPD or somewhere like that. So this is the only tool that you're going to be able to use. This side slots in lovely. This side not so much. If I try this side first, I'm in, and now I can't get this one in either. If I really force it, I can get them in, but you should be able to slide that in and out nicely when everything's all done. And that's going to be the aim for me to try and get this timed up absolutely spot on when I change the belt. Well, I'm not joking, I'm lucky that this engine is still actually going. I took off the cap for the Dephaser and I just managed to undo this with my hand. It was that loose. So the noise I was hearing probably isn't even the Dephaser, it was probably the fact it was actually loose. So obviously I'm going to change it anyway, but that is a lucky escape. Okay, so new belt's on, new Dephaser's on. It's now time for me to time this up, which I've now put the tool in the back where the half moon segments are. I've locked the cogs off as well, so the tension and everything's all good. So I now need to nip these up, and then I'll need to recheck the back here that I can slot the key in and out nicely. It's going to take me probably 2 or 3, 4 maybe attempts to get it right, but that is what needs to be done for it to be perfect. Oh, we're there. Okay, so now everything's back on the engine, the new timing belt and the Dephaser's done. I did have to just change the power steering pump because I forgot that was knackered and I completely forgot to record it. Good job really, because there was a lot of swearing. I had to take off all the alternator and everything that I just put back on with the belt. So yeah, that's now done. So now let's try and get this back into the car. Not gonna lie, that was painful. I don't know why, but the engine just did not seem to want to fit back into this space. It just kept going too far forward. Eventually I managed to get it in. It's kind of being held on by two engine mounts right now. Not completely done up, but just enough so that the engine is actually sitting in its correct location. So now really it's just a case of putting everything back, meticulously trying to find where everything, little nut, bolt, clip, connector, wire goes. So wish me luck, hopefully we can get this smashed out and get it started. MOT, good luck, see you in a bit. Okay, so the car has now gone over to LRP to go have its MOT done. Hopefully that's going to pass with no issues whatsoever. That way, next weekend we can pick it up and give it its first drive. So until then, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.